A great eye, lidless, wreathed in flame. Name that quote. It's that magical time of year where instead of keeping this closed all the time, we're gonna keep it open all the time. The reason being is I don't heat or cool this side, but it's actually nicer in here than in the shop. So yeah, why not? Yep, we're just leaving it off and it's a nice 71 degrees. Cooling this side off in particular is the main utility bill, because especially when all these guys are going, it gets pretty hot. This is kind of fun. I got extra dehydrator trays so that we can dehydrate more plastic at a time. And I noticed, I can't tell what it says there, but it says secar. If you remember, maybe you didn't see it, but at the Mexican supermarket, they have carne para secar, which is like beef jerky. So it makes sense. I feel like they made these shorter, actually. Old and new. Let's see. I don't know, I think they're about the same, actually. It's kind of my imagination. I'm gonna do this with this one, but I made the shelf higher so that you can see that this could probably get 5 baskets instead of 4. Once we get the new plastic, we're gonna be in business. You ever read the text on those little dehydration things? They're called desiccants. I bet that's related to seca or secar in Spanish. I bet that's the connection to English. Desiccants, secar. I feel like this almost confirms it. Sicco in Latin is to dry up. So that's gotta be where secar comes from. You ever know somebody on social media, a friend or family member perhaps, and they're always like, why do you never like my posts? You know what the old reliable on that is? It doesn't show me your stuff. Blame the algorithm. Everybody hates the algorithm. Even people that shouldn't hate the algorithm. Maybe the reason your videos and stuff aren't getting views is because they suck. But it might be the algorithm. I was doing a search for a customer's name. Their name was Diane. And I realized I've only sold to 25 Dianes. Looks like the law got somebody out there. Every once in a while somebody gets pulled over. Got a few things to package. Another gorgeous David. This is the D20 bank. And these are the stoppers. You can get these on Amazon. It's pretty awesome. The stopper goes in like this. The only problem is when you set it flat, it doesn't quite sit still because it's not flat totally on the bottom. So what we do is we get something like this. It could be a lot of things. This is a timer. And we're gonna heat this. We're gonna put this on the timer to dry, and that'll create a slight concave. I find that putting the stopper in first is what you want to do because it's harder to do afterwards. You just let it sit like that for a few minutes and you'll see what happens after. While that's going, one of the things that I dislike the most is being in a situation where somebody comes up to you with what they clearly think is just the ultimate idea. This happens a lot when you have a 3D printing business because everybody's coming to you with like ideas about things or for products. And they'll just like be so excited and think that they just came up with the most amazing thing, and it'll be like, you should sell planters. And then you're just in that position where you don't want to be a dick, okay? You're trying so hard not to do it. And you actually wish that you could share in the enthusiasm. You know, like you don't want them to not be enthusiastic. You don't want them to be different at all. But there's just this reality, like you can't just be like, you can't be dishonest and just say like, wow, planters, that's an idea. So I've never figured out what to do in that situation. There's no way to be truthful and keep them happy. Maybe you could say a bunch of peripheral stuff like, wow, it's really cool that you came to me with this idea. I guess this is what parents maybe do with their kids when they like show them a drawing they made and it's the worst thing they've ever seen. You know, like that's a real skill. I wonder what people do. Like, what's the standard answer for that? With that being said, this is nice and cool. And you can see this still looks pretty normal, but it's just pushed in just enough. It's gonna sit flat. Yep. Nice and flat. That's not going anywhere. This is a little strange. So the thermostat says it's 79 in here. I guess you guys can't tell, but it's like a great temperature, especially with the adjoining room open. Sometimes I really wonder, like, where's the sensor for this thing? How does that work? How do thermostats even work? About to deliver these packages. We really have to get hairspray. I am plumb out. Just in the interest of taking a second to appreciate things, it is so nice out. This is like, I don't even know what to liken it to. This is the perfect weather. This is what heaven is like. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Yeah. You want to hear a joke? Knock, knock. Who's there? Go drop those little biatches off. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Man, it is so nice out. I think I'm going to Dutch Brothers, and I think I'm gonna drink it there. They have a little outdoor area. Some of you that live in areas that have Dutch Brothers, it's probably the same. I think I'm just gonna chill and drink coffee for a few minutes. I never do this. It's really looking kind of nice out. This Dutch Brothers is almost on this college campus, SFA. It'd be really cool to be going to college here and just walk to get coffee. I mean, maybe that's not that unusual, but I would like it. Just that little area there. It's even in the shade. Perfect. Got the place to myself. We should do this more often. This is some kind of caramel cold brew sweet cream something or other. I don't know. I just saw a picture and like, give me that please. How is music like this? Like, how did somebody say like, that's a chorus? Steve Jobs had this really specific rant that he did in the early 90s about television shows and sitcoms and why they were so bad, which doesn't really make sense because that was like a pretty good era for sitcoms. He said the first thing you assume is like, why are these production companies making or writing such bad TV shows? The first thing you assume is that it's some kind of conspiracy or like non-talented people somehow like rise to the top. Essentially, the first thing you assume is that it's the company's fault somehow for making these like horrible TV shows. But the more depressing realization is when it dawns on you that they make these shows because that's what people want to watch. That's kind of what I think about like all this SoundCloud rap and stuff. You would maybe think like, is it just that this is super easy music to produce? As somebody who recorded music, it is. Like, it would be pretty easy music to make. All you really need is a beat and just write like a couple lines for a chorus, and I guess you have to write a couple verses, but rap like this doesn't even have that many lyrics. But yeah, the more depressing realization is like, no, there's some substantial portion of people that actually want to listen to this. I'm not trying to give the impression that I'm not enjoying my coffee, because I definitely am. And this doesn't really bother me that much. It's just, that's the thought that occurred to me. That was really good. It was good for my soul. One thing I do miss about Austin, for all of its flaws, is if you just want to go somewhere and chill and get a coffee, there's like 5 trillion places. There's almost as many coffee shops as people in Austin. Austin is essentially 3 things. It's coffee shops, really good but overpriced food, and thrift stores. And all of that is wreathed together by absurd traffic. I think 2 decent extra goals for the day, other than doing all the normal stuff, will be to get the new filament set up, running, or at least do a test run. I mean, I'm so low on plastic that I don't know if I want to risk wasting any of it, but I want to do at least one test run. And we need to get a new product listed. Look at that, kitty cat. We're back at the shop. I just got a message from somebody wanting to do a bulk deal on some headphone stands. Could be pretty interesting. I'm not gonna just go on and on about this, but it is so nice out. Like, I wish I could set up an area outside to work occasionally, because this would just be the perfect day to do it. Okay, so the bulk sale person messaged me back, and they want 350 of these David headphone stands, kind of like the ones you saw today, except I think they want it solid white instead of white to black fade. But if I sold them for 30 bucks a piece, which would be a pretty good bulk price, that's over $10,000. We're working it out, but I'm very motivated to do this. The thing is, you can save a lot on shipping when you're bulk selling things, because you can get those large boxes that we put the big heads and trash cans in and just fill them with these Davids. You could probably get 12, maybe 12 to 15 Davids in each. One of the things is messing up. So that's about $20, $25 depending on their location, which is only a couple bucks per David head at most. So that would be pretty cool. I think we're gonna open up the front doors, let some of that nice air in. Yup, we'll get both of them. I guess that works. There we go. Let some of that air in. Hopefully a bird doesn't fly in or something stupid like that. I totally forgot hairspray. Whoa, check this out. Etsy just dropped video reviews. I guess it's only visible to me though. It's a test thing. Wow, this is crazy. This is like a brand new feature. Look at that boy. You guys got to see that made. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I just got 3 good reviews in a row, which is always a nice thing. What we're doing now is I've got a couple of custom orders I've been needing to get finished. The first one is, I don't know why they want this, but somebody wanted an object that can hold like 50 decks of cards. They gave me the dimensions for the cards, and so we're making that. Oh yeah, on top of that, they want 2 of these things. So 2 objects that can hold 50 cards apiece, 50 decks of cards. For something this geometric and exact, I'm gonna use SketchUp. So they said the decks of cards are 2.5 inches by 5 inches, or actually they're 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches, but they said to leave about 3 inches of room and 5 inches of room for each deck. And so I converted that to millimeters, and that's about what this is. So we're gonna make a whole bunch of boxes that are this size. My plan is to draw a perimeter around here, because that's what's going to come up. But I think I need to figure out what the layout of the 50 is going to be, because like, I think I'm gonna do them in rows, something like that. This is me being kind of lazy, but I think I'm gonna ask AI what the closest to a square you could arrange these in, given the dimensions. Meaning like an object with that size and there's 50 of them. what the closest to a square you can make is. Okay, I guess this was kind of obvious, but we're gonna do 5 columns by 10 rows. So it's gonna be like, I think that's a 25 to 30 ratio or something like that. The thing is, I also have to think about printable area. So 30 inches, I'm not gonna be able to do that. So we gotta figure out a solution. I should have thought about how wide this object would be. I figured it would be really large, but I thought it would be something that I could theoretically print on one of the large printers. But we can make something that works in 3 objects, which they're not gonna complain about. But like, anyway, so what it is we're going to do 3 of these wide and 6 deep. The reason I know they're not going to complain about it being 3 objects instead of 2 objects is because, like, this is a big thing and they were going to need a lot of space for this anyway. And plus it holds the same number of decks, so it's the same amount of surface area. I mean, theoretically they just really wanted 2 objects, but having that many decks of cards is just going to be big. And it was going to take up a bunch of space either way. With SketchUp, you can just copy and paste, so that's what we're doing. Select these 3 and make rows. Okay, that didn't work. Yep, there we go. Simple enough. We're left with this object. I cut out all the little lines in between. We're going to make the outer border match. There we go. The border matches. Yep. They didn't specify about how high or anything. They just wanted it to hold that many decks. So I think we're going to make it about 5 millimeters. That's going to be more than enough to hold these decks. We're going to input 50 and that should work. Yep. Yep. This is a fairly snug fit, so it's kind of weird to see. These must be really thick decks, but I think that'll work. And then of course we got to extrude these guys down here. Voila. Got it in Mesh Mixer to make solid and printable and all that. I think we're gonna do something a little special with this. I made this a little deeper. I think what we're gonna do is cut this at an angle and make it wall mountable so that the cards are kind of sticking out from the wall like this. They didn't specify that they wanted to mount it on a wall, but this is the same thing they were asking for with an additional option, since it will have mounting holes in the back. It's like, it's just more optionality, going above and beyond. Never mind, that's gonna take way too much plastic, but we've got this thing designed. All right, let's segue to get some hairspray since we forgot it. Nothing wrong with a nice, peaceful night segue. Oh yeah, they got a whole bunch. Mission accomplished. Scary water park at night. Honestly, if you live somewhere that's at least tolerable outside most of the time, I don't know how people aren't segwaying when it comes to short little trips, running errands and stuff like that. It's so convenient. A lot of people, it's not uncommon for me to get strange looks when I buy this much hairspray. Maybe they think I'm making a bomb or something. Well, we are pretty close to being out of plastic, of raw plastic. So, what we're gonna do, we are going to begin the arduous process of taking out the red things. But this is virgin raw plastic, so if we get the bad colorant out of it, this is probably 2, maybe 2.5, 3 baskets, which is about, that's the equivalent of 6 or 7 rolls of normal filament, normal kilogram rolls. We could actually weigh this. Maybe I'll do that. So we're gonna empty this into this, then weigh the container so we can get the tear weight. Tear it out. So this is 334. Okay. So a little better than I expected. This is over 4 kilogram rolls. Maybe we make these a little smaller, so that's 5-ish. It's been a minute since I calculated it, but I think that would be about half a day. Maybe like 3/4 of a day of production, which is a lot. People ask me why I keep these hairspray lids sometimes. It's for stuff like this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna pick out the reds. And I guess I need a container to put the actual remaining raw in, but each of these reds will go in here. I'll put the remaining raw in these glass bowls that are used for recycling. It's funny, I just happened to get a, this is actually cut on a metal shard. Just, you know, right before I actually have to use my fingertips to do this. There we go. Round 1. Round 2. Round 3. Number 4. Number 5. Mambo number 5. 6. Starting to get pretty quick at this. I actually started using this little cup to save my thumb, and it's actually a much faster way to do it. 7. 8. 9. Z. That little experiment yielded, it takes about 10 of those to get the equivalent of roughly 1 basket of plastic. You can see that it's about maybe 1/4 of the way through. So that's not bad. Means that we've got about 1 more of these dehydrator fulls of plastic. Get that right. So that's actually more than a day. It's a little more than a day. So it's Thursday. What's in here is Friday. What's in the container there is Saturday. Let's see here. So this is maybe Sunday-ish. And then this will be Monday-ish. And the plastic's coming Tuesday. So it's pretty much just enough. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a little bit left in here. I took everything that was kind of on the bottom and put this in here. So we are definitely fine. I would say it's taken about 45 minutes to do 2 of these, which isn't completely horrible. You know, if somebody asked me to make an exhaustive list of all the things that you have to do as an entrepreneur, I don't know that filtering out the little red colorant particles in this stuff, I don't know if that would have made the list. Last little bits. The last piece. It's actually pretty hard to get this. There we go. That is the last red from this entire bucket. Yep, I just stood here really, for like an hour, probably more than an hour, doing that entire thing. So that is about 2.5 baskets, which is the equivalent of about 5 kilogram rolls. I think that's pretty close to what I said at the beginning, but I really can't. I'm still mentally scooping. In my mind, I'm just doing this over and over and over again. Oh yeah, I set a timer at the beginning. Actually, this timer was set, it says an hour, in case you didn't catch that. It was set when I put the first basket in, so that's 80 minutes, so whatever that is divided by 3. Actually, whatever that is divided by 2.5. So yeah. In other news, it's nice to get one of my more treasured Tupperware containers back. That plastic is from 2 or 3 years ago. So this thing's been out of commission for a good while. Okie doke. This is a Nosferatu. I believe it's going international, though I can't remember where. Maybe Germany. You're gonna see more of these because we're starting to use all the colors and stuff since we're getting low on filaments, which is why we did all the sorting we just did. But yeah, we're gonna take the supports off, clean them up, and all this stuff is getting painted. I actually had a rare breakage. One of these Octos broke in the package, which almost never happens. So this is a replacement for somebody. Kitty cat. I think it's gonna be orange, like Garfield. Doing a lot tonight. Gotta get these big Sharkos done. Got a bunch of stuff painted. Got a bunch of stuff printing, using all the printers. And everything is just as it should be. Yeah, I basically decided this already, but I'm officially not going to try to get this working until the plastic comes. Simply because, you know, sometimes when you're starting up a system, you kind of waste some plastic getting it tuned in and stuff. And we're gonna need like every little bit we can get. But yeah, it's only till Tuesday, so that's not even a long time to wait. Well, that's about it for today. Another really productive day. It's funny, like there's so many things that take a really long time. Like if you were actually doing them, it takes a really long time, but I kind of just show the important points because I don't want to make these boring, obviously. Like if you were actually here doing it, sorting through all of that plastic to get the little red bits, that took frickin' forever. It felt like a million years. It was worth it though. That's 2.5, that's the equivalent of 5 kilograms. It's basically almost 5 kilograms of plastic, which is what the weight showed at the beginning. That's gonna make a difference. So it was very much worth doing. I'm kind of glad that I had that old plastic sitting around. I guess that's what I'm grateful for today. Like, according to the count of everything, I'm definitely gonna be good through Monday, and then Tuesday, you know, things are gonna be, nothing's really gonna get interrupted. It was gonna be pretty close, but I think we're good. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that the machines are really treating me good. Like, they're all just being they're behaving themselves like good little children. It's really good for my little coffee outing today. It's such a small thing, but it's just nice to be in some good weather, some fresh air, and just get some decent coffee. Small things like that make life, that's what life is made of. Tell me your small moment today, your little moment of enjoyment, because I like reading about that and why you're grateful for that, or what you're grateful for, or what your projects are. You can write anything in the comments. It's your comment section. Just write whatever you want. But gratitude is key, so let's not forget that. Tell me about your little moments, and I will read them, give you a little heart, however you draw a heart, and I will see you next time. Peace out, everybody.